Yeah! All right, everyone. Welcome to the stream, guys. You're watching Rome Knows Tech, and I'm your host, Ron Wilkerson. Guys, I'm coming from the city of Houston, down here in the ever so hot and humid state of Texas. Man, it's been raining all day long. What is really going on in this city? I don't know. But you know what? We're going to roll right on through it. We're going to roll right with it. We're going to still do what we came here to do, and that is to talk about tech and hopefully, you know, entertain you guys, a few of you on the way. So if you guys were anticipating me being live last night, unfortunately, it did not work out for me. I was having some technical difficulties with Streamlabs OBS, and I could not resolve those issues. So I am experimenting tonight with a new streaming software from a company called Meld, and this is the Meld Studio software that we're going to be using tonight. And I just realized I forgot to charge my phone. Richard, how did you not remind me to charge my phone today? Well, one of my mini phones, so you know. What's good, Richard? Yeah! All right, my man Richard was helping me earlier today test out this software. He popped in over on YouTube where we're doing our initial tests to see how the sound was going to come through and the audio. I can see Hope is already over on YouTube right now. So yes, I'm still seeing all of the chat in this app. Now, I have not been able to get my Stream Ninja to work the right way here yet. And that's where we have the normal little pop-up banner whenever you guys are saying something. So temporarily, we're going to be using this right here where it just kind of shows what everybody's saying throughout the stream. And that's what we're going to kind of roll with for tonight. But hopefully by the next stream, I will have all those little bugs worked out. Y'all know how we do. Richard, what you been up to for the rest of the day? Anything good happened since I talked to you last today? You planning any rollerblading this week, bro? You know, grilling? Inquiring minds would like to know. What you got going on, bro? What you got going on in your world? You know we want to know. You know. All right, so we got a couple of angles, new angles for our cameras set up here. So if you guys want to check that out. So you're looking at the main angle right now, which is my talking head angle here. We also have this angle over here, so I can show you guys, you know, obviously this laser and any of the other stuff over here. And of course, I can adjust these as I go. And then we have the back view directly behind my back. I had this set up last night for Gobi, but you know, I know you guys like the curtain lights as well. So, you know, I'll have some angles interpreted here for you guys to be able to see those. And then of course we have the desk here where we have our other laser, which is from X-Tool, which we use on most nights, you know, to create something. So, you know, I'm just kind of playing around with things just to see how we can build out our flow with this new software. Hope, let us know what you think so far about the way everything is set up. I am steadily charging up my phone. It's up to about a hot 6% right now. I could probably switch over to my other iPhone as the camera phone, but that would just be a pain in the, you know, the keister tonight. So we're just gonna kind of overlook that because I don't plan on being long on this stream. I just wanted to go through and show you guys pretty much the new setup. Now our top-down camera is pretty much the same. You guys know, you know, that's where I'm just showing you guys whatever's here on the desk. And you can see I got a bunch of things here on the desk still. Man, let me tell you guys, this little thing right here, I cannot tell you how much this thing comes in handy. Because the vent over my stove does not work properly. So a lot of times when I'm cooking, I will get a lot of smoke in the studio. Yes, Richard, smoke in the studio. And I have to use this fan to blow the smoke away from the not the air purifier, away from the smoke detector, so that this is what we use one of these to turn off the smoke detector sometimes here in the house. So, you know, this thing comes in. I need to get like a little holster for this where I can just have this on my hip. You know what I mean? I can just run up in there and psst, you know how we do. You know how we do. Yes, that's how crazy the tech gets in my world. So, like I said, you never know what you're gonna get when you come around here hanging out with me. So, all right, let's see. What do we have first in the carousel? First thing in the carousel tonight is going to be. Oops, what did I just do there? I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Okay, so the first thing we have in the carousel is going to be the LP5. So we have the LaserPecker 5 right here on my desk. Most of you guys have all seen me use this laser, seen me talk about this laser for years. Of course, we have the LP4 still here in the studio as well, which was one of my favorite lasers to use over the last 2+ years. You know, so that guy was a rock star. This one right here is a superstar, no doubt about it. Superstar. When I say superstar laser, man, that's what I'm talking about. Right. Whoops, wrong laser. My bad. Here we go. See, I told y'all I don't know where the button's at. But anyway, we're talking about this laser right here. And yes, this is very cluttered right now because there's a bunch of little cameras and everything sitting here in front of it. I'm waiting for my phone to charge up a little bit so I can switch over. I might be able to do it temporarily here. Let me just unplug this real quick and show you guys what I'm talking about. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and clean off these lenses also. All right, so let's switch to our camera phone here real quick. So this is the laser that we're referring to. This is the LaserPecker 5. Now, if you go with the full bundle, you can get it with the air purifier. You also get a rotary chuck, and you also get a slide extension. Okay, now this is a very powerful laser. This is a 20-watt diode laser and a 20-watt fiber laser, guys. So you get the best of both worlds when it comes to working with one of these lasers. So like I said, I have been using these lasers for probably the last 3.5 years or so. And yeah, I'm very, very impressed with what I've been able to create with them, as well as how easy they were to learn. So if you're interested in creativity, if you want to work with wood, leather, acrylic, paper, yes, some people just want to work with paper, man. It's amazing art that's been created with just paper, you know. So if that's you, this laser should be on your radar. Okay, now right now it is $32.99 if you guys are interested in that laser. We won't be doing any demos with it tonight, unfortunately, because one, I didn't set up for it, but I did want to go ahead and feature it tonight. But it is in the carousel, and if somebody just has to see me use this laser tonight, I will try to make it happen. I'll reroute the cable from the other laser over to this laser and, you know, try to make it happen. See, Hope is saying, hey, Richard, what's up? Hope is talking to you over there on YouTube, Richard. I see Richard over there. Is Richard on YouTube too? No, wait, I can't tell. I don't see Richard on YouTube. But anyway, Richard, Hope is saying hi to you over on YouTube. So anyway, let's get to the next item in the carousel. So our next item that is one of my favorite featured items is going to be one of my drones. Now I have a couple of drones laying around here. You know, you guys have seen me talk about this drone right here. This will come up here in a little bit. But my main drone, my main squeeze is this drone back here. Let me see if I can get back here to the right camera. Nah, you guys still ain't gonna be able to see nothing. That's okay. Let me just grab it. All right. All right, so that would be this drone right here. This is the DJI Air 3S. Now, this is a much larger drone than a lot of the drones that you guys have probably seen me talk about over the last, I don't know, year, two, whatever it's been. This is a high-end prosumer drone, pro consumer. Now, this one is much larger, much faster. 2 cameras built into this guy as well. You have a 24mm camera on here, as well as a 70mm equivalent. This drone can fly up to 70 miles an hour, 4K 60 frames a second in standard video 4K format, and you can also record slow motion up to 120 frames a second, guys. It has 360-degree obstacle avoidance. It also has LiDAR. So if you guys have one of the new smartphones that has LiDAR for scanning, this also has LiDAR, and the LiDAR on this camera works within one candle power. So that means in very, very low light, it will be able to sense directly what's in front of it, what's directly in front of it. Now, of course, it has the obstacle avoidance all the way around, but that's not really going to help you too much in low light. But this is a beast. Now, I had this, let me tell you something funny. I just did the update on this drone a couple of days ago. So I had it here in the living room, right? So I'm like, I'm not going to fly it in the house. I'm not going to fly it in the house, you know, because I know Richard is probably peeking through my curtains right now, waiting for a blooper. And I'm just not going to do it because I know what happened last time I tried to fly this drone in the house. It went straight up to the ceiling. So I decided I was going to just test, you know, fire it up, you know, so I could get the propellers to spin up to make sure that everything was working after the update. So I had it in the living room, and I went ahead and, you know, went through the, you know, the checks and everything that we normally do. And then I just went ahead and, you know, spun up the propellers, and I was like, well, you know, I could just fly it a little bit, just a little bit ain't gonna hurt nothing, right? Right? Okay. So anyway, I let it take off, and it just kind of just hovered right there in the air, right about this height from the floor. And then I decided I wanted to land it, and it didn't want to go down, right? So every time I would press down, it would go up, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening now? I press down again, it would go back up. I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go again. It's gonna be another crazy episode, like when I had to climb up on the ceiling that time and try to grab this thing off the ceiling. But luckily, it did land. And the first time I ever saw the landing light come on, because yes, it has a landing light right here underneath the drone, and that was the first time I've ever seen the landing light come on. And I was like, ooh, that is cool. But, you know, I'm not a nighttime flyer, so I don't do any nighttime time lapses, or I don't have any nighttime clients that are hiring me to come out and fly the drone. But I just thought it was pretty cool that, you know, it has all of those built-in features. I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for a commercial drone, if you're looking for a very high-end recreational drone, this could be exactly what you're looking for. Now, the Fly More combo is going to come with 3 batteries, the charger, and also the RC3 controller, okay? So you got and it also comes with a really nice little travel bag that comes with it as well. Now, all of these other little things you see me putting on here, like this little cover, it does come with its own lens cover, but I have an aftermarket one on here that just clips on like that. And then I also have these propeller guards on here to protect the propellers whenever I'm sticking it in a bag or something like that. I don't have to worry about these propellers getting damaged or anything. You know, just better be safe than sorry. But yeah, if you guys are interested in a drone like this one, specifically like this one is currently $21.79, and that's for the entire bundle that I mentioned. That's going to get you the full Fly More combo. You're going to get the batteries, you're going to get the charger, you're going to get the controller, the drone, the carry-all bag, spare propellers, all that jazz, right? I see Terry's in the house. Yeah! Welcome, Terry. Welcome to the stream. All right, let me put this thing back here. All right, let me grab the controller real quick in case you guys had not seen it. So this is the actual controller for the drone. So you have a 5.5-inch screen here. You have your joystick controllers. You have your speed control right here. You have 3 different speeds you can fly at. You have a cinematic speed, which is very slow, you know, and methodical. You also have the normal speed. Then you have sport mode, where this thing will really get out and boogie, okay, up to about 60 miles an hour. So if you're into that, you got that, right? This has 4 built-in antennas, 2 external antennas, 2 internal antennas. This little cover that you see on here does not come with it. That is additional. I do have it listed over on my carousel if you guys want to take a look at that as well. And I also have the little neck strap hooks on here so that I can hang this guy around my neck, and I can just be flying the drone. And if I have to, you know, answer the phone or something, which I shouldn't be doing in the first place, but if I did, I could just let it go and it would just rest right here in front of me, you know, until I look down, make sure everything is you know, the drone is doing what it's doing. And the only time that would ever possibly happen is if I was doing some automated, you know, flight maneuver where I knew the drone was going to be doing its own thing and I'm not, you know, controlling it 100%. But I don't recommend that you do that. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes I will, you know, just hang it around my neck. All right. And while we're at it, let me go ahead and show you guys what the charging case looks like. This is the charging case. It comes with 3 of these batteries. I currently have 1 of the batteries in the drone. I have another one somewhere around here. And then we have this one that's in here right now. So you get 3 of these batteries in total, plus the charger. Now, one thing that it does not come with is a charging brick, okay? So I do recommend, you know, investing in like at least a 60 to 100 watt charging brick. So if not, those batteries gonna take all day to charge. Nobody wants that. All right, oops. I plugged my phone into the wrong cable, y'all. It ain't even charging, y'all. It ain't even charging. Don't ask nobody. All right, so let's get to the next drone that we have here in the carousel for tonight. Now, that's going to be this little guy right here. Now, this is from 00 Robotics. Both of these drones were sent out to me by their respective brands, but this one right here became one of my little favorite drones to carry everywhere with me because it folds up. As you guys can see here, it's about the size of this iPhone or a little bit smaller than this iPhone. It's much thicker than the iPhone, but you can still drop this in a pocket, put it in a, a purse or a backpack or one of Richard's fanny packs, when he's out there rollerblading and stuff. I'm not saying that, Richard, don't start, Richard, because I don't want to see no bloopers, with you chasing me on rollerblades, okay? Because I'm telling y'all, if y'all not following Richard on TikTok, y'all definitely missing out, okay? He has an imagination that rivals my own. But anyway, this is a foldable drone, as you see. Now, the drone we just looked at has a 3-axis gimbal. It has obstacle avoidance. This drone does not have any of those things, okay? It has a standard little, I don't even know if that's a 2-axis gimbal, if that's even a gimbal at all. I don't think that's even really a gimbal on this guy. I think it's just, it's just a mounted camera. But it's supposed to be a flying camera. Now, I can honestly say I've gotten some very, very stable video and very sharp resolution, high quality images off of this little drone, guys. Now, 4K 30 may not seem like a big deal, but most motion pictures are shot in 4K 24 frames a second. So, you're pretty close to that. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy in the air. So we have, let me show you here. We have 2 buttons here on top. So you have this larger button right here. That's going to be your power button. The other button is going to be your mode button, which allows you to select between the different modes. We're going to go ahead and power this guy on. And you guys can also see right here on the back, it also shows you what your battery indicator is. So once this turns on, current mode, hover. So it's currently in hover mode, okay? So now if I press this little black button here, we can go through the different modes. And there's the next mode, and the next mode, and the next mode, and the next mode. So on the custom one, you can go into the app and determine what you want the custom mode to be. I have it for sidetrack. Sidetrack just really means that the drone is going to follow you alongside. So if you're walking along, the drone would just be flying sideways next to you wherever you're walking. So if you just walk and talk, it's just kind of following along, whatever you do. Richard, you could probably use one of these. Again, rollerblading. I'm just calling it out. I call it the way I see them, bro. All right, I keep tripping my, there we go. I'm just gonna leave this thing on. I'm just gonna leave it on, y'all. I'm gonna leave it on tracking because it wants to track me. So I'm just gonna leave it on tracking so it can keep a better frame of me. Maybe that works better for the stream tonight. We'll see. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and put this guy up in the air. So all I gotta do is press this little button right here. There we go, one time. And it's gonna fly right off my palm. You don't have to throw it up or nothing, just let it go. And poof, there you go. It's in the air. All right. I was just making sure my phone was charging. But anyway, so whenever I'm ready for the drone to land, all I have to do, well, okay, let me tell you this. If the drone is far away from you, there are hand movements you can do, you know, to get the drone to fly closer to you so you can get it to land. But let's say it's right here in my vicinity and I want to land the drone. I can just put my hand under it like this and it will land right in my palm, no problem. Then I can pick the next mode that I want to fly it, and you know, just do what you do, because you have all of those presets built into it. That means you do not need a controller. You do not have to connect your phone to this. You can connect your phone to this drone and use that as a controller. And now, after the most recent firmware update, you also can purchase their new controller that will allow you to have those type of tactile controls over this drone if you want to fly it like a standard drone. Okay, so now the bundle itself, if I'm not mistaken, is around $299. And I just noticed again, it is out of stock, unfortunately, because I've been talking about this thing for like the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I just looked down at the carousel and noticed that it was out of stock. But you know, whew, that happens sometimes. All right, let's roll on. Easy money, Richard says. Easy money, baby. Easy money, easy money, easy money. All right, let's get to some of these mini cameras that are up here on my desk that I was talking about with the laser, and that's the wrong camera. Wrong. Where is it? Nope, not that one either. Boop. Nope, not me. Boop. Let's try again. There we go. All right, so we got I told you, Richard. So we got all of these cameras over here. I got to rearrange those buttons so that they coincide with the directions of the room. But anyway, we got a bunch of these Ozbot cameras up here. I'm going to bring them down to the desk and kind of walk you guys through these different cameras. So let's let's make it happen, Captain. Y'all know how we do. Let's go down to the desktop here real quick. All right, let me clear off some things here on the desk. Because some people, I'm not saying you, but some people might say, Rome, your desk is a mess, and they would be correct. But anyway, here we go. Two of these Ozbot cameras I want you guys to take a look at. Now, there's two variations of the model that we're looking at. We're looking at the Ozbot Tiny 2 Lite, which is this 4K variant that you see right here, which is currently $159, okay? Now, this is the Tiny SE, which is a 1080p variant of the same camera. So they're almost identical in their design, you know, the aesthetics and everything. They're both PTZ cameras. That means they can pan, tilt, and zoom. They both take a standard USB-C cable. They both have a built-in stand that you can use. If I can pull it out. Why can't I pull this out tonight? Anyway, that you can pull this little stand out, and this is going to allow you to mount this onto like a laptop or a monitor. It also has a quarter 20 input right here, where you can, you know, use a light stand or a mic stand, or you can use a tripod, monopod, any of that kind of jazz. This is going to be an ideal little portable camera. This is going to be a great camera, you know, for everyday running guns, things like that. You know, for Zoom calls, live streaming, gaming, all of that. And it has human tracking built into this feature, one of the features built into this camera. Now, there's also a remote available for this one as well. So it's just one of those things where you have to basically analyze your own workflow to figure out what is going to be the best possible camera for you. Do you need a 4K camera, or will a 1080p camera do? If there's only a few dollar differences, guys, I would tell you go with the 4K variant, because that's going to future-proof you. That way, in the future, when you're able to live stream to other platforms at a higher resolution, like, you know, 1080p, 4K, 2K, whatever it's going to be, you already future-proofed. You already have a camera that's capable of that, no problems whatsoever. And this is a very plug-and-play camera. Just literally take a cable, plug it in, and you're pretty much good to go. Almost every device that is, you know, compatible is going to recognize this right off the bat. So, you know, you guys can see how small this little camera is. I think it's going to be an excellent little portable, you know, take it everywhere kind of camera. Now, we have some other cameras from Ozbot, but before we get to that, let me see what's going on down here in the chat. All right, Richard says we have 30K likes. Yeah! Ooh, we hitting it, y'all. We hitting it. All right, Terry says the veggie deep dish pizza at Little Caesar's is excellent. Okay. Let me channel my 19-year-old self that used to work at a pizza restaurant. And I must say, in my own opinion, one of the best pizza restaurants in the Houston area, bar none. Bar none. Okay. And that was Barry's Pizza. Okay. But anyway, it had the famous, deep dish pizza. Man, people would come from miles and miles. People would get off of airplanes and they'd get in the cab or in the limo and they'd be like, sir, where would you like to go? I need to go get that pizza. I need to go get that pizza. That was before the internet, by the way. Okay. That's how popular it was before the internet, when everybody was still walking around with pagers. Richard, you know what I'm talking about. When everybody was walking around with pagers, and yet people were flying into this city that knew of this one little small pizza place way on the other side of Houston in the Galleria area. And they're like, man, I got to have it. Whoo, righty then. But anyway, with all that said, that's just to let you know, I am a connoisseur, Terry, when it comes to the pizza. Okay? Okay? Okay. Anyway, so I'm assuming you had pizza today, veggie pizza today. What kind of vegetables did you have on your pizza? Now, I'll tell you what I like. I like onions and black olives, okay? Put some onions and some black olives. Now, I am not a fan of most pizza places ground beef, okay? Because I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm just like, that don't look like beef to me. I don't know what it is, but nope, I'm taking that off. Nope, nope. You can have it. Here, y'all, put it on your slice. No. Terry says black olives, onions, and green peppers. Yes, Terry. Yes. Yeah! Yes, my girl. We can hit the pizza place together. Terry, Hope is over on YouTube, and she says, hey, Terry, what's going on? What's popping? What's crack-a-lacking? And Hope, tell us what kind of pizza you like. Richard probably just likes all pizza. I mean, you could probably put a sock and some flip-flops on it, and Richard be like, yes, just give me a slice. Just bring it here. Bring it over here, man. Don't play with me. So... But Hope, let us know what kind of pizza you like. I will let everybody know. And Richard says, and add jalapenos. Yes, my brother. Yes, we got to have that spice, my babies. Ooh-wee. Because if it ain't got no bite, it's got to go. Let me see. Terry says mushrooms. Mushrooms on it too. Yeah, maybe. It depends on the mushroom. It depends on how they're cut. All of those things matter to me. I don't like gummy things. You know what I mean? I think that's why I used to have problems with, trying to go to a lot of different Asian restaurants. Is that sometimes, and you know what I'm talking about if you visited enough of them, sometimes their chicken does not taste like chicken that we would make in our homes or chicken that you would get from a normal chicken place. It has that rubbery, gummy type of feel to it, and I am not a fan of that. The same thing I was just saying about that ground beef or that mystery beef or whatever it is. Nope. I ain't about that at all. Let me just make sure I ain't missing nothing down in the comments. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let me see if Hope ever said anything about her pizza choices. So Hope says, poor Smokey, all the unnecessary noise, not to mention the strange looking objects flying around. Oh, I guess she's talking about my dog. Yeah, Smokey is he's used to the madness, okay? He would probably be like, just be overwhelmed. Like, why are you so quiet? Why aren't you flying something around in the house? Why aren't you racing a car through the living room? Why aren't you burning up something in the kitchen? He would think I was probably sick or something if there was nothing else going on. I'm just telling you. All right. Hope says her pizza selection would be black olives, onions, bell peppers. See, Terry, same thing. Jalapenos on the side. She's one of them.
Yeah, put my jalapenos on the side. I'm going to pretend like I'm eating some jalapenos. I'm like, oh, that's so good. Yeah, yes, can I have another? Yes. Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
We ain't falling for it, Hope. We ain't falling for it. We know your type. We know your type, okay? Anyway, mushrooms and tomatoes. So are we talking about sliced tomatoes, diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes? Because, a lot of people who have never been to an authentic Italian restaurant, or most likely have never been, to Italy, have no idea how pizza is really made there versus the way it's made here in America. Because in America, we cover everything in cheese. We put our elbows on it. We put our knee in it with cheese. But, when you go overseas, you don't see that. You see the sauce and you see some mozzarella, here and there, little balls of mozzarella. And that's pretty much it. That's the amount of cheese that they add to it. Joanna's in the house. Welcome, yeah! Joanna. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's get to this next camera, y'all, because I ain't got all night. I got stuff to do. Where is it? Oh, there it is. All right. So we already looked at a few of the other cameras so far. The two smaller Osbot cameras. This is the largest Osbot camera that's on the market right now. This is the Osbot Tail 2. This is also a 4K, camera, guys. This has 4K up to 60 frames a second. It has, PTZ features. Now, this is considered to be a PTZ-R camera, where a standard, let me grab one of these other cameras here. So this one right here is our Osbot Tail Air. And you guys can see there's a huge difference in the size of these two cameras. Now, I would have said 2 months ago, this is Osbot's flagship camera right here. This is the guy. This is the guy right here. This is the one you got to get, okay? I was mistaken. This is the new hotness, okay? This is they're same when it comes to resolution. Now, this one has a better processor, better chip, if you want to look at it that way. Now, this one also has another hidden feature where with this camera, if you wanted to record something in, portrait orientation for TikTok or Instagram, you would have to mount this camera sideways like this so that you could get the full, resolution and the full orientation of the video. With this camera, you don't have to do that because it has a built-in mechanism that allows you in the app to switch the orientation of the camera. So you can go from a 16:9 to a 9:16 by just, flick of a button. So, and another cool thing about this model, it has much larger connection points, right? Where these smaller ones here, this one has like a micro HDMI connector. This one has a full size HDMI connector. This one has line in and mic in headphone jack right here. This one has a 3.5 also on here, but it's just for the one device. You also have a USB-C on here that could either be for charging it or using it as a webcam, and you can also install an SD card into this guy as well. So with this one, you have a full-size HDMI. You have your RS-232s. That's going to be for like controlling with the PTZ controller. You have an SDI input right here. You have Ethernet built right into the camera, okay? You also have two USB inputs right here. That's going to be one for UVC, so you can use it as a webcam, and the other one is going to be for power, okay? This guy can run about 6 hours on a full charge. So most people, I don't know many people that's going to be streaming that long. Maybe David, maybe Mel, somebody like that. It's definitely not going to be Rome, okay? But if you, maybe doing conferences or weddings or, some of those big, church events, those all-day church events, this could be the camera for you. Now, of course, what's nice about these two style cameras, they're both have the ability to use NDI, SRT, RTMP. You can stream directly from these cameras using the smartphone app and also record directly to these cameras. So these guys are a win. And the device that I normally connect these cameras to, the Osbot Talent, you're able to connect it to it wirelessly, guys. So let me grab the Talent. Oh, where is it? Oh, shoot. All right, I gotta go way back here and grab a whole rig because I put the whole thing together as a rig. Let me get it. Oh my goodness. All right, okay. All right, I'm caught on this backpack. All right, so anyway, this is the Osbot Talent that you guys see right here, okay? This is a 5-inch monitor. It has 2 HDMI inputs. It has 2 USB-A inputs, line in, mic in. This is a full streaming deck right here. Now, I do have a wireless transmitter connected to it right now so that I can connect it to my computer or whatever other, HDMI device I want to connect to it. And I have this mounted, if you guys can see here, I have this mounted on my Sony FX30. I have a Sony FX3 that I use mostly for photography. This camera right here, I use primarily for video, live streaming and things like that. I have the shotgun microphone on here. This one allows me to have 2 XLR inputs, so I can use the shotgun microphone and an additional microphone plus a wireless microphone. So I got a lot of options with this rig. I can add the wireless microphone directly to the Talent. I can add the wireless microphone to one of the cameras, or I could add the wireless microphone as a alternate track going into the camera, and then I would be able to, is this plugged in? Let me see. Let me power this on so I can show you guys here. All right, so I'm turning the Osbot on, and I'm gonna switch on the camera as well. See if I can get these both to turn on at the same time. So the camera is already on. If you guys can see that, the camera's already on. So we're just waiting on the Osbot to turn on. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, actually, let me fix this camera. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this is not a light rig, okay? This has got some weight to it, okay? Anyway, so this guy right here, is it connected yet? Let me see, yep. All right, so now you have video coming from this camera going into the Talent, and I have a 24 to 70 millimeter lens on here, so I can zoom in. Battery's almost dead on there. I can zoom in, zoom out, all of that kind of cool jazz. This is gonna be perfect, if this is your main camera, and then one of the other cameras that we looked at that can easily connect to this rig wirelessly, this could be a perfect, kind of run and gun production rig. So you have a higher end 4K camera here that can record in much higher codecs. It's going to be ideal for like documentaries, weddings, commercial work, any of that kind of stuff. And you can record into this device as well, and also live stream if you wanted to. If you had an event where a client also wanted you to be able to live stream for them, you could do that. And with this HDMI input that you guys see right here, this transmitter receiver kit, you could connect a computer to this or another device to this and have that come in also as a video source, and you'll be able to switch to that. You're going to be basically the producer, director type of person where you're sitting next to the camera, switching all the different camera angles on behalf of the client, but that's how it's set up. Anyway, let me set this down. And yes, that has some significant weight to it. So I'm going to pull this monitor out and see if the phone is on. It hasn't charged up much, but it's got 11%, so that's gonna have to do for tonight. Let's switch over here to our phone view so you guys can see kind of how the rig is set up here. So that is our Tail 2, the Sony FX30, the Talent, the HDMI transmitter, and of course we have the smaller of the Osbot cameras. This is the Tail Air. Now in the bundle for the Tail Air, I actually got 3 of these that came in the bundle with the Talent. The Tail 2 just came by itself, but you guys get the idea. This is kind of an easy setup for almost any type of commercial work that you might want to do. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely check this out. Now the camera, I'm waiting for the camera to catch up. The camera itself from Sony, the FX30, is currently right now $24.95. That is just for the body only. I also recommend that you get the top handle, and of course you're going to have to buy lenses for the camera, which can be anywhere from $500 to $1,500 per lens. The top handle, I think, is only a few $100s more, but it does not come with the shotgun mic, so you'd have to buy the shotgun mic additional as well. So, but it is an investment, guys. That's how you have to look at this, as an investment. And this is an investment, if you're marketing properly, this is an investment that will pay itself off in almost no time whatsoever. So definitely check it out. If you guys got any questions about this gear, the things that I use as a professional photographer, as a professional videographer, feel free. That's what I'm here for. Drop it down in the comments. I got you, booze. I got you. Richard says we got 50K likes. Yeah! All right. 50K likes. Baby. Now, the talent comes with this remote right here. Let me make sure of that bundle. Yes, you can get this remote right here for that, right? So what's cool about this remote is that it can control up to 3 cameras, 3 different presets per camera. You have people tracking, you have a built-in laser pointer on here. So, if you want to point out something on a bulletin board or something, and if the camera's facing in the direction of the bulletin board and you point at it with the laser, the camera will zoom in on wherever the laser is, okay? You also have pet tracking. We don't have Richard tracking on here. I guess we could call that people slash, roadrunner tracking. We need something super fast to catch Richard on them rollerblades. But anyway, it also has a joystick controller. You have a button for photo, a button for a video. You have a telerocker right here for zooming in and zooming out. It's very compact, easy to travel with. It feels good in the hand. Now, this is all plastic, of course. I actually 3D printed a little thing that goes on here that acts as like a little handle, a little grip, just to give it a little bit more girth, in the hand, so that way I don't worry about dropping it, when I'm out there in the field doing what I do. But this has been a really, really good little remote for me, guys. So do you need this remote? Is this a must-have? Of course not. But is it something that you will definitely enjoy using? I highly recommend getting the remote if you're going with either of those 2 cameras, whether it be the Osbot Tail Airs or the Osbot Tail 2. Both of these are going to be good uses of this remote. All right. What do we have next? All right, so we got some boom for your
face. That's right. Ooh-wee.
We got that Soundcore Anchor Motion Boom. That's right, babies. The Motion Boom right now, not the new one, but the older one right now, is only $109.99. It is water resistant. It has an I don't even remember what it is. I know it's either IP65 or let me check. No, it's IPX7 is the rating on that guy. 24-hour playtime on a full charge, which is crazy. Of course, it does have smartphone apps. It's going to be great for camping, backyard, outside, pool parties. You know how we do. You know how we do, babies. Y'all know this. And the price is right. $109.99. Say it with me now. $109.99. Okay. Yes, that is an amazing price for that boom in the room. Richard, when you're out there on the rollerblades, bro, tell us about it. What do you have on your shoulder when you be out there doing what you do? Tell us, Richard. Inquiring minds would like to know. Do you have on some headphones? Do you have on what you have on, Richard? We want to know. Richard says the Soundcore Motion Boom. I can't talk. Richard says the Soundcore Anchor Motion Boom has a redeemable savings buy for $89.99. Enter code, whatever that long code is, and get and an additional $20 off. Okay, man, if I didn't have a couple of them and I was getting ready for that summertime, springtime, party time, baby, I'd be getting with it. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, okay? But since we speaking about, music and tunes and all that kind of stuff, something was recently sent to me, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. So basically what this is a 128 gigabyte MP3 player, okay? And I'm like, but what is this do that my phone don't already do? Because my phone storage is like 3 times this storage, and it's an iPhone. So, there's that, right? But don't let that fool you. Don't let that fool you. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you what you get. Let me show you what you get. Because I was completely impressed with this little device. So I haven't had a chance to do a video on it yet, but I want to show you guys what you get. This is the little box that it comes in. Really elegant little box. Let me pop this out. Yeah, it's like the Apple box. Y'all know how long it takes to open the Apple box? By the time you get the Apple box open, there's a new model out, right? But anyway, this is the container that it comes in. Oh my goodness, I'm just making a mess. I've completely jumped away from my stream somehow on the browser. I don't know how that just happened. Okay, anyway, let's try this again. Let me refresh this page. $60K likes. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me see what's going on right now with this page. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this right. I don't know what's happening. Why it's not showing my top-down view. At least not from my computer. Let me check something. Let me check our delay. Okay, so it's showing it on YouTube, but it's not showing it on Amazon. So let me try going out and coming back in. All right, I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. Anyway, so this is the box that you get. It comes with these little headphones, and the headphones come with the individual little earplugs, as you guys can see there. You also receive a USB-C to USB-A cable, and this comes with a little, kind of like a little, this is like a little case for it. It comes with a little case. I see my man Alan DeBay is in the house. What it do, Alan? And it also comes with a screen protector. Okay, I didn't know any of that up until a few minutes ago. All right, so this is what the device looks like. It almost looks like an old school phone or an older phone. You have your power button, you have your volume controls right here, and you can just power this guy on like so. So we're gonna give it a few seconds to turn on. It's interesting how this is so black and white, the way this comes in, because I remember when I first turned it on, I was kind of confused at what I was looking at. I'm like, okay, that don't make a lot of sense to me, but who knows why it looks the way it does. All right, so Alan says, it's so hot in Kansas. Galactic. I hear you, bro. I hear you, bro. All right, so let me see what's going on here. Let me check out everything else. Hopefully you guys are seeing everything that I'm doing over on whatever platform you're watching on. I'm seeing it on YouTube. Everything looks fine. Anyway, so here's a screen, so I can just click right here. Wait, there we go. All right, so I can swipe up, as you guys can see here, And this is going to launch like an Android phone. So you have a calendar, you have Chrome, you have a clock, you have a music player, video player, your settings. You scroll over, you have other things like YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Pandora. I'm just naming off a few things here, like Kindle. You have YouTube Kids. You have, what else do we have here? We have Sound Recorder. Okay, we got our app store, so you can add additional apps to this. Okay, so this is everything but a phone. I mean, realistically. So you also have, you know, an SD card. You can put a micro SD card in this guy. You have the headphones that come with it. You have the ability to charge it, obviously off a USB-C. And like I said, it comes with that little case as well. This is going to be an excellent little, you know, when I think about stuff like this, I always think about stuff like this for kids, you know, that, you know, maybe not ready for a phone or whatever the case it is. You know, you don't feel comfortable giving them a phone yet. But I have to admit, my son was like 2 years old when we gave him his first iPhone. And it's because he was, you know, game minded and he played games on it all the time. Now, of course, you know, being that he had two parents that were nerds, you know, we were constantly monitoring, you know, everything that he did on the phone. So we weren't as worried about, you know, somebody, you know, reaching out to him or anything like that. So, but, you know, it's better be safe than sorry, you know. But I think about devices like this as it would be an ideal device for somebody to get for, you know, their son, daughter, niece, nephew, you know, that doesn't necessarily want or need a phone, but they want all of the other cool things that, you know, this can bring to, you know, to you. It does not have a SIM card, so you won't be able to just, they won't be able to just surf the web wherever they are. They'll have to access, you know, web through Wi-Fi or something like that. But, you know, if it's at home for at-home use, I could definitely see that working. It is $69.99. So yeah, just let me know. All right, let's see. What is Alan talking about? Wrong chat. What are we talking about, Alan? What are we talking about? I don't know why I'm not seeing the video on Amazon. Are you guys seeing the video on Amazon? Because I'm not seeing it. I keep refreshing and I'm still not seeing it. Let me try closing this browser and reopening it. And let's see what we get. Okay, so now I'm seeing it. All right, that's weird. That was weird. It was like a hiccup. Okay, well, anyway, I'm back. I'm back. I can see myself. How about that? All right. What do we got next? Next item in the carousel is these microphones right here. Now, these are from Anker. These are the Anker Work M650 wireless microphones. Now, what's nice about these, and I'm telling you guys, I rocked these for almost a year and a half. Every single day, I was doing 5, sometimes 8 videos a day. Ask Alan. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I would use one of these microphones, connecting it to my iPhone, and I would use the iPhone as my main camera, you know, for recording. And this was the rig that I was using almost on a daily basis. Now, with this kit, guys, you get 2 omnidirectional microphones. They have internal recording. You have a receiver that also has, hold on. Oops, wrong camera. Also has your USB-C connector adapter. Here you have a lightning adapter, and like I said, both of these have internal recording. The case itself charges the controller, the receiver, as well as the microphones. This is very compact, very travel friendly. So all of the other gear that we were looking at, all of this stuff, guys, can fit in a bag really easily. You know, I forgot to turn my other camera off. Y'all know I get distracted so easily. Y'all know this. You know this, man. Yes, I forgot to turn my camera off back there. So let me switch. Whoops, wait a minute. There we go. Where is it? So I can show you guys. I did leave it on. Hold on. See back there? I forgot to turn it off. Still on. Anyway, let me power this camera off so I don't unnecessarily run down the battery. All right, so that's off. And let's turn off the talent. Now that's off. Okay, also let me bring this lens in. I can't stand it when telephoto lenses are pushed out. You know, people who leave the lenses pushed all the way out, that drives me insane. I mean, that literally works on my nerves. So no, I am not a fan of that. Alan, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, what else we got? So we got some batteries. So one of the batteries, you remember guys, a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about, you know, with the hands-free 1 and hands-free 2 backpacks, it would be really cool if they sold the batteries separately. Well, somebody must have been listening to Rome, because now you can buy the batteries separately, okay? So the one I have listed in the carousel right now is the hands-free 1, which is this battery right here. Oops. This battery right here inside of this backpack. So the hands-free 1 is your 300 watt battery. That's AC and DC power delivery. So let me flip it around so you guys can see you have your DC plugs on one side, your AC plugs on the other. You have 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, and you can charge this guy right off of a solar panel. You have your little buttons right here in the front. Let me see if I remember. Oh, okay, it's down to 56%. Ooh, I need to charge this. But anyway, right here you can turn on AC power, DC power. You can charge it from a solar panel as well. This is very, very travel friendly, okay? Let me take the battery out so I can show you guys what the battery actually looks like outside of the backpack. All right. Hold on, I gotta fight it out. There we go. All right, so this is what the battery looks like outside of the backpack, okay? As you guys can see, this is very slim. This is very travel friendly. It's got an integrated handle right here on the top. All of your controls are gonna be on one side, and you can charge this off of one of those universal 3-prong plugs. It has a grounding connection right here if you need to ground a battery for whatever reason it is. It's not very heavy, so you know, you could hike up into the mountains with this and you'd be just fine. So yeah, I am a huge fan of that battery, that style of battery. You know, like I said, when I first saw the backpack, I actually reached out to Blue Yeti. Usually they reach out to me, and I reached out to Blue Yeti. I was like, hey, what's happening? You got a backpack with a battery in it? Really? And when can I get one? What? Can I get 3? 2? Oh, just one? Okay. I'll have to do with just one. So yeah, you know, I've been rocking that backpack, guys, with that battery for my drones. That became my permanent drone backpack. Inside of it, if I hadn't shown you guys inside of it, I actually took the insides out of one of my other cases, and I have all of my drone storage inside of this backpack. So that means I can take my drone, I can take cameras, I can take lenses. You know, it's not the biggest backpack, because there is actually a hands-free 2, which is a larger variant of this. But for what this is, let me scoot back a little bit. For what this is, guys, this is a very, very robust backpack. Nice shoulder straps on here. I know Alan goes camping all the time. I know if Alan doesn't already have one of these, I know it's on his radar. Yeah. And Alan, the battery right now is $179, bro. It's $179, okay? Need I say more? No. Now, I do have another Blue Yeti battery. Let me grab it. That would be this guy right here. So this battery here, this is the AC2A. Now, this is less than 300 watts, but you still have AC and DC power. You actually have 2 plugs here. You have your USB-C, 2 USB-As. Of course, you got your little power button right here. Let's see what kind of power I got on this one. Oh, righty then. I got 100% power on this guy. You can also charge this one off of that same 3-pronged battery cable that I mentioned before, or solar panels or whatever you have. You can charge this in your vehicle while you're driving. It's got really nice venting on it. It's got a built-in handle as well. You guys see I'm manhandling this thing. Okay, what is going on with my camera, y'all? Hold on. Let me fix this camera. Oh my goodness. Why is the camera so far that way? Hold on, let me fix it. There we go. Okay, so anyway, this is a very, very portable power source. I have used these small batteries to power the lasers that I use here in the studio and a number of other things. So if you're looking for something that's going to be travel friendly, now if you compare the two, there is a significance in size, right? But this is not going to easily fit into a backpack, but it is still a very powerful battery for what it is. Now, I know if you're looking to power a hair dryer, or you got to blow them locks like I do every morning, you need something with a little bit more horsepower, okay? But for most everyday things, charging up your phone, your laptop, your drone, one of these smaller batteries is gonna get her done, okay? So that's how we do. That's how we do. I'm about to show you right now what I can do with this battery. We're gonna use it to power something. Now that battery is only $138.99, but let's go ahead and jump over to the next item here in the carousel. Let's see if I can get the camera to go in the right direction this time. Nope, not even close. There we go. All right. All right, guys, so I have the battery here on the desk. Wait, let me move the camera down so you guys can see what's going on here. Hold on. Come down, camera, come down, come down. All right, so here's the battery that we're gonna be using right now to demo. So I have a light right here. This is from Govee. Okay, this is one of Govee's desk lamps. So we're gonna power this guy up real quick. Pop it in there. Turn the power on. Turn on DC power. And let's plug it up. I mean AC power, my bad. Hold on. AC power. I said DC power. Okay, so we got our DC power on, and now our lamp is on. Let's bring the camera back up a little bit. And you guys see it can easily power this with no problems whatsoever. Let me bring the camera around a little bit so I can square it off. So of course you have all the same functions you would normally have with a light like this. You can adjust the cool lighting effects. Let me bring the brightness down so maybe you guys can see the effect a little bit better. I don't know how far down I can bring it so you guys will be able to see the colors. And let's try changing some of those color modes. So it has a ton of color modes. And this light right now, guys, is only $69.99 unless Richard has found a coupon for it. But you got a variety of different color modes that you can set with this guy. I love these little lamps. These are great for, home, office. It's going to be great for your kids' room. Richard says there is a $7 off coupon that you can utilize to bring this down to $62.99. Okay. Now, of course, this is going to work with Meta. It's going to work with Alexa. It's going to work with Google Home. And of course, it's going to work with the Govee app. Okay. So if you have the Govee app on your phone, so let me open my Govee app and let me find that lamp. So I have the table lamp. I have the table lamp right here, so I can click on that, and then I can go in, and I can. It has an update. But we're gonna do the update later. But I can go in here and I can change different scenes. I have a ton of different scenes that I can go through, different color effects, all that kind of stuff. I can adjust the speed of the movement of the effects with this. Oh, let me turn this microphone toward me. All right, so we have our illuminations, different lighting setups here. You have music as well, so that means you could set this light where it's gonna do pretty much the same thing that my curtain light is doing. It's responding to my voice. So as long as I'm talking, it's going to start moving. And the minute I stop talking, it'll stop, which is super cool. That never gets old. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, that never ever gets old to me. Hope says the colors look good. Yeah, and I mean, you got colors, you got DIY stuff, you got, you know, your AI, you have all of these different things built into the Govee app, and you can, you know, turn on and off this right from the app. Right here, I can just switch this guy off just like that from the app. I can turn it right back on just like that from the app. So you have a lot of cool flexibility when it comes to this. So, you know, if you guys are looking for something really cool to travel with, really cool for your man cave, your she shed, your kids' room, you know, conversation starter, you know, on a movie night or something like that, because you can set this to sound and it can be responding to music, to lighting, all of that kind of cool jazz, you know, in a room. So yeah, definitely check that out. All right, so we got one more light from Govee. So let me switch back over here. And what is happening with this camera? Hold on, let me fix this camera, y'all. And let me zoom out. All right, let me adjust this and reset it. There we go. Okay, maybe that's gonna fix it for tonight. All right, so now you guys should see more of me and it's not so zoomed in. All right, so let me grab this other light back here. Oh, it's too far with the headphones on. All right. So this is another Govee light, okay? Now, this is one of their RGB neon lights. Guys, see that? So here is your power source. You have your controller right here. Let me go ahead and attach this. And these just plug in, male and female, just like that. And I'm gonna unplug this other light that's over here. And let's go back over here. And let me adjust that camera too. All right, let's move that back and down. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna unplug this guy, push it off to the side for now. And then we're gonna take this neon rope light. I'm just gonna lay it on here for right now. And we're just gonna plug this one in as well, okay? So that should light up. There we go, just lit up just like that. And let me grab my iPhone just to show you guys some of the cool things we can do with this light as well. Now this one is $89.99, $89.99. Richard says we have 80K likes. All right, y'all got to bring that kind of energy when we do the next Govee stream. All right, so let me turn on, well, our neon lights are already on. So we're just gonna, this one has an update too, but we're gonna do that later. All right, so we have our different scenes here. I can just click on this and it's gonna go through different color effects. We have universe, which is the one I'm on right now. We have waves. And I mean, there's a lot of scenes here, guys. I'm not gonna go through all these scenes, all right? We got water drops, which is pretty cool. We have fire. Richard, we got fire. Wait, let me get some smoke, Richard. Let me get some smoke. Because, you know, we can't have no fire, Richard, without some smoke, okay? We can't have no fire without some smoke. So let me get some smoke over here so we can really dance this up so you can see what this light really looks like. All right, so let me go ahead and put a little fog on it. Put a little fog on it, just like that. There we go. Ooh, righty then. Now you can see the magic. You can see the magic. All right. So now as I change some of these color effects, like this cool one here, maybe you guys can see it a little bit better because of the smoke. And here's one that's kind of cool. This is a blossom, like a flower. What else we have? Here's flames also, more flames. We're sticking with that fire theme. All right, let's go to festive. So we got some festive themes here. Here is, whoops, I'm gonna skip right past it. There is Halloween. I don't know what that has to do with Halloween, but there's Halloween. Richard says there's $9 off on this right now, guys. You can apply a coupon and bring this down to $80.99. Okay, now these are going to be great for your man cave, your she shed. These are going to be great for your game room. You know, wherever you want to put these things, you want to wear them around your neck. You know, I'm telling you, these are hot. These are hot. These are hot, my babies. All right, so we got some nature stuff too. And you can adjust the speed. You can go in here and you can choose a faster speed or slower speed, you know, whatever it is you want to for them to, you know, do their little thing. Let me see another good one here. Here's meditation. So here's like a meditative light. So if you had this like in your room where you study, where you meditate, you could bring the intensity down a little bit, you know, add a little, you know, diffuser in the room. This could be really, really nice to have. All right, what else we got? Here's the white light. Let's go to funny. So we have hopping. Let's see what hopping does. All right, the light just kind of moves around. That's kind of cool. We have this Candy Crush. Yep, that definitely looks like candy to me. We have a windmill. Yeah, we got a lot of cool effects, guys. A lot of cool effects with this light. So, you know, like I said, if you're into this type of stuff, you know, this is going to be a win, guys. This is a straight up win. If you're into those type of lights, like the lamp, the floor lamp that I have back there, or the curtain lights, or any of those type of lights, I'm telling you guys, Govee is the way to go. Govee's the way to go because, you know, they stand behind everything that they produce from what my personal experience with them has been. And, you know, they're constantly innovating, bringing something new to the table every single year. So if you're into, you know, decorative things like I am, creative things, you know, this is going to be something that you definitely want to check out. All right. I think that's about it, y'all. Because the next item in the carousel we already talked about, which is the backpack, which is the Blue Yeti backpack. Now, we do have one more thing in the carousel. Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. So, for my gamers out there, I got you. That camera looks so far away now. Let me fix that too. Let me bring... Oop, that's going the wrong way. Maybe about right there. That's good. That ain't too close, but ain't too far. All right. But anyway, Jackbox Games right now is $4.99. You guys know Jackbox Games. You know, we played a lot of those games on our stream. We will be playing those games again in the future over on YouTube, more likely YouTube and Facebook when I'm streaming. So the way this is going to be played out, Richard gave me this idea of doing an after party. So what we'll do is we'll do our normal live stream where we stream to all the different platforms, and then, you know, platforms like Amazon right here will end that stream at a certain time, and then we'll just keep the party rolling over on the other streams, and that way we can do, you know, all the other stuff we talk about, you know, gifting and creative stuff and playing games and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know we're gonna still keep it PG, but, you know, we have a little bit more freedom as to whatever we can do at those times. But if you are into games, you got kids coming over for the summertime, and you want to try and keep them entertained, I'm telling you guys, $4.99 is nothing for, you know, as a cost of your sanity, okay? So get yourself a subscription to Jackbox Games. I still have that subscription to this day. I subscribe so that I can play games with you guys, because, you know, other than me and Alan and a few other people, you know, I don't really play those games, you know, just, you know, I'm just, ooh, let me play a game tonight. No, I play pool on my phone. I'm admit that. I play pool on my phone almost every night. 90K? Yeah!
What? 90K? Alrighty then.
All right, my babies, y'all bringing that heat. Y'all bringing that heat tonight. That's how I like it. That's how I love it. All right, let me see if this phone is charged up enough so I can show you guys some of the cool things that we can now do here in the stream. It's kind of nerdy, but I wanted to show you guys anyway. So let me see if I can get my phone in the gimbal. It doesn't have much of a charge, but it should be charged enough just to make it through these next few minutes. So let me go ahead and do that and figure out also what's going on over here. All right, so we're gonna switch over to this phone's view on my gimbal. So this is our iPhone that we're switching to right now. So of course you guys know always before I can move the iPhone all over the place, no big deal. Now I can actually move myself around wherever I want to. So that way if I need to free up a little bit of space, I'm gonna play with this more over the next couple of days, but I think we're gonna get this, you know, where it really makes the stream go to a whole nother level. Cause y'all know me, I'm that big old nerd like that. I'm always looking for cool ways, you know, to dress up everything we do. So, you know, I want it to be entertaining and fun to you guys as well. And of course, you know, these effects definitely appeal to the big nerd in me. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, you know, whether I'm using the phone, you know, as a camera or whatever it is I'm using, y'all know how I get. Y'all know this. You know this, man. But I still need to charge this phone. So let me stop playing around. So let me go ahead and switch this gimbal off, because that phone only has like 17% battery, y'all. And if Evans was in here, it would be some smoke in the city. It'd be some smoke in the city, babies. Because because Evans be coming for me, y'all. You know, I still talk to her every once in a while on them other social medias, but you know, I gotta charge my stuff. Renee be sending me messages all the time. Rome, charge your stuff, and I'd be like, what? What you talking about? I always charge my stuff, Renee. I charge my stuff quite often, but when I use it, I sometimes forget to turn it off. So y'all know. Anyway, this phone right here is about to die, which is crazy. Okay, hold on. Let me turn on this battery so it can charge this other phone. Okay, so now this phone that I'm using to control the stream is charging right now on this little cradle. Anyway, let's get to the last item in the carousel. All right, guys, so the last item in the carousel are these drawstring backpacks. You guys know I talk about these every single stream. Now, I honestly believe these are some great reusable shopping bags, storage bags, you know, day trip bags, all that kind of cool jazz. You know, you got the little strappies on the side here. My vacuum has been beating this one to death, okay? So my robot vacuum gets caught on this thing almost every single day. It even broke the little thing off, okay? But that won't happen to most people. So I'm probably going to have to switch out this bag and, you know, quickly gift this to somebody. But yeah. Those are some really cool bags. They're ideal for also gifting some love, guys. So you know how I use them, you know, here in my area. We do a lot for the homeless communities. You know, we buy items right here on Amazon: toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo, conditioner, hand sanitizer, Band-Aids, pens, pencils, underwear, socks, toilet paper, reusable water bottles, all that jazz, baby, all that jazz. Richard says 95K likes. All right. But why is that still on? Hold on. Okay, I'm turning off that light. I forget. See, I told y'all it's off now, but it wasn't off before. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Anyway, I just want to encourage you, my babies, to get out there and do good in the world in any way you can. You know, help an old lady across the street, help someone, you know, that you see struggling in any, you know, form of life that you encounter them in, because you may be paying it forward, something that will come back and bless you in the future. But even if it doesn't, it's going to warm your soul. It's going to warm your heart for the good that you've done for your fellow man, woman, child, or animal. So y'all know how we do. We try to do good for everyone that we possibly can. And I want to always try and inspire that in you guys. And I want to lead by example, doing the good work, you know, and encouraging you guys to get out there and do it as well. And even if you do not feel comfortable, you know, being out there like we do sometimes on our motorcycles as a club, you know, we roll in there thick. Okay. So we ain't worried about no smoke. But, crazy stuff can still happen. So I say that by meaning, if you don't feel comfortable walking up to someone and handing them something, then just donate your items, guys, to a homeless shelter, to a women's shelter, to a pet shelter, whatever the case it may be. Just do the good work. Don't worry about if you get a photo op, or there's going to be somebody there that's going to recognize you and say, oh, look what Rome did, look what Richard did, look what Hope and all the people did. No, just you know that you did that good. Okay, that's all that matters, that all right, and those good things will come to you every day to help empower you to keep doing better, to keep doing more. Okay, look for your angel numbers. That's the universe talking to you. Mine today were 333. So let me go ahead and drop those down in the comments here real quick. 333. Drop it like it's hot. All right. Well, that's about it for tonight. Like I said earlier, I was supposed to be live last night here on my stream and also over there on Govee, but that goes on bread. But yeah, my Streamlabs OBS was just not participating whatsoever. Would not play with your boy. Okay, so tonight I have been streaming on the software called what is it called? I've already forgot. Where did my mouse go? This is called Mel Studio. That's what I'm using right now to live stream. So I was able to easily bring in all of my other cameras, all the same cameras that I use, the iPhone, because it's all connected to my computer the same way, Apple, integration, that kind of thing. But connecting to a hub. So Richard, this also proves it wasn't the hub that was the problem. It was actually OBS that was the problem. So, here we go. All right. But I'll be back here in 2 days, guys, hanging out with you guys, doing what we do. Hopefully we'll get some new items in. Look forward to the video that I'll do on that MP3 player and some other cool jazz that I have here. I'll be doing some videos on over the next couple of days. So I will be posting them on all our different social medias. So, do your boy a favor, comment, like, and share the content with people that might be able to benefit from it. It's not rocket science. It's literally like, look at it, you go over to the site. If it's YouTube, go to YouTube. If it's Amazon, go to Amazon, and click the like button, or if it's something that you like, you know what I'm saying. All right, my babies, it's time for me to wrap it up for the night. Time for me to say them magic words. But before we go, I gotta do this thing. Yeah. All right, Richard says we got 100K likes tonight, my babies. 100K likes, and it's still going. That's how we do. All right, my babies. Like I said, I'll be back here in 48 hours to hang out with y'all. I'm gonna go make some dinner, and I'll post some pictures later because I got some ideas rattling around in my head. We're gonna see how much of that I can actually make happen tonight. But Smokey's also patrolling. He's ready to eat. So it's time for me to say them magic words. Peace, and blue muffin grease. I am out. Boom, my babies. Don't forget to follow Richard over on TikTok. Richard, drop it like it's hot. I'm waiting for you to drop that link, Richard. There you go. Drop that link, Richard. Drop it in the comments so that everybody can find my man Richard over on TikTok. And the first thing you do when you get there, you're going to start watching. I'm telling you, you're going to start watching bloopers. Most of them are me. And you will look up from your phone like 3 hours later and go, oh my goodness. I just spent 3 hours watching Rome do silly stuff, according to Richard. I'm just saying. So, you can take that with a grain of salt, according to Richard. But anyway, I gotta go make dinner, my babies. I will catch y'all all. What day is it? What is the day? What day is it? Oh, it's Monday. I didn't know. So I will see y'all all right back here on Wednesday, unless Govee gets at me early. and tries to, push me into one of the open slots that might pop up. And if they do, I will let y'all know. It'll be all over the social medias, babies. So I'll let y'all know so y'all can come on in, hang out with your boy, talk about some lights, talk about some coolness, because these lights right here, ooh, I almost pulled that thing down. These lights right here, man, I'm telling you, everybody that does any type of live streaming, gaming, anything like that, you need those lights in your life, okay? All right, Richard saying good night over on YouTube. Hope saying good night over on YouTube. I'm saying good night right here everywhere in the universe. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all them places. Smokey say, you're taking too long, okay? It's dinner time, bro. It's dinner time. So I got to go. Love y'all. I'm out.